Hey guys, Brother Brewer here. I was just recording some audio to double check my sound equipment and thought I would go ahead and, while I'm doing this, do some beer related stuff for the podcast and maybe throw some video up on YouTube so folks can see me. Well, first of all, I started kegging, so I got my first corny keg. Corny means Cornelius keg. It's a 5-gallon keg that you used to see soda put in a long time ago. It holds about 5 gallons. It is the long cylindrical metal keg that had the plastic tops to it. You used to see them, like I said, you used to see them all the time on the soda fountains before Coke and Pepsi went to the boxed soda that you could add your carbonated water to and hook up to the fountains. So I decided to do that with my Irish Red and not the Hefeweizen, because that one, I'm not really sure how well it works on a keg. I have to do some research to find out. I was short on cash. I didn't have enough money when I got this keg. It's a used keg. I didn't have enough money to get the full CO2 system where you get the nice big 5-10 pound tank to hook up all of the good, and the cabling to get all of the good stuff. So I just got the little picnic faucet that you've seen on your party kegs if you've ever been to a keg party. And the brew store had a nice little cheap, I say relatively cheap, this was about $25. I'm going to show it to you here if I can bring it up on the screen where you can see it. Bring it back here. It's basically almost like one of those bike inflators that uses the CO2 cartridges, but the threads on it are made to fit on the gas line for the ball lock or pin lock corny kegs. And for the ball locks, you just pull this back. It has these little ball bearings inside of it that pop down, clamp onto. You screw this attachment on here, like so. You just kind of screw this on. Make sure you get it on nice and tight so you don't leak a whole lot of air. And it just takes these little 16-gram bullet cartridges like you'd pick up at a bicycle shop or maybe Walmart, or SodaStream uses these things too. The back of this unscrews. You pop your canister inside of there. Now you have to make sure this is made, it looks like, so that it can take a threaded, but I've been using the non-threaded because it seems like they work easier. Although I'm wondering if the threaded might not give a better seal, because this one, well, when you pop it on there, and the way it's supposed to work is that now that you've popped this end, you've got this popped onto your keg, pull the lever, and of course I'm using a spent cartridge because I've just charged this keg a couple of times now, and shoots 16 grams of CO2 in there, and that's just enough pressure to serve a third of the keg. And you supposedly, according to the information, you're supposed to only, of course I think this mic stand's going to be the death of me, brand new mic stand too, so that you don't hear me tapping on the desk as much. It doesn't reverb through the mic as much. There, let's try that. I think that's going to be a little bit better there. So anywho, back to the shoe. So you go through about 3 cartridges, the literature says, to serve a 5-gallon corny keg. And as far as charging the keg, it works great. I used it when I transferred my beer into it. I decided to do a natural carbonation using the yeast itself. I just recharged it with about 3/4 cup of sugar in 2 cups of water. Boiled that up, poured that in, put the beer in with it, and then the yeast had something to eat on, so they wake up. They eat the yeast, they shit carbon dioxide, and it carbonates your beer naturally. So that all I have to do is use 3 of these to charge it. Well, when it says you use 3 to charge it, 1 at a time. When the pressure starts getting low, hit it with another one. Don't try to charge it with 3 all at once. Trust me. What happened? Well, first of all, no matter how hard I tightened, it seemed like I still get a little bit of a leak from the CO2 canister after I've let go of the lever. And I'm not sure if it's just, and I've tightened this thing down, I mean, as tight as I could get it to go. I almost broke the plastic. I tightened it so tight. The O-ring still had a little bit of a leak to it, which wasn't too bad. I could still hear it hissing. And then when I popped it off and then discharged the rest of it, after I filled the keg as far as it would fill, because as it lost air, it started shooting a little bit of beer foam through the mechanism. That's not good. Now we get to the lessons that I've learned tonight. When you're charging your keg, make sure that you put your fill line, your outline, where you hook your little faucet to, or your big faucet, hook that up first. So here's what happened. I popped it on. I started to try to pop the outlet hose on with the ball lock after I charged the keg. Shot beer all over the place. I got it on there, and I found out how touchy those picnic faucets can be, and it poured beer. I probably had probably pretty close to a half a gallon of beer spilled onto my garage floor. The garage pub smells like Irish red beer now. It's not a bad smell right now. It'll get stale. I've mopped it twice now. I'm probably going to have to hit it 1 or 2 more times. I have also found out that the little refrigerator that I have that was loaned to me by a friend will hold 1 corny keg and 2 12-packs of beer, which is not bad. I mean, that means I've got room for the CO2 canister once I'm going to try to talk my mother-in-law, who's coming up later next week and likes to buy me Christmas presents. I'm going to try to talk her into buying the actual CO2 canister, CO2, nice big one, and hose for it as my Christmas present this year. Last year she took me to my favorite homebrew store here local and let me spend about $100 in supplies for beer. So that was really nice of her. She does stuff like that a lot. So these chargers like this, they're good. Make sure that you, with anything, hook your output line up first. Make sure nothing is depressing the picnic faucet. And these, like I said, these do have a little bit of a leak to them, just a tiny one. So what I would do is go ahead and charge it, and as fast as you can, pop this back off without losing any beer, or losing very little beer. Then as your pressure lowers, pop this back on, hit it with another canister, and rinse, lather, repeat kind of thing. But anyway, that's how this thing works, and that's the story behind the reason that the pub right now smells like beer, because I goofed. But the product itself is really good. Like I said, it's grand total 3 chargers are probably cost about, a pack of 10. I've seen a pack of 10 at Walmart or Target.com for roughly $8 for a 10 pack of the 8 gram. So 16 gram, you can pick those up at a bicycle shop. You can pick them up at your homebrew store. Pick them up on Amazon. They're not that expensive. It's a good alternative if you're wanting to, especially if you're taking your keg to go. If you want to take it to a party or to a camp out or something like that, where you don't want to pack your entire CO2 setup, these things will work in a pinch really good. Not good for everyday use. I want to stress that. Use these only if you're traveling. So anyway, that's all I've got for tonight. It's, like I said, it seems like the equipment is working pretty good. So I'm going to leave it here and give you the slogan. Believe nothing that you hear, half of what you see, and never have a serious conversation without a 2-drink minimum. Good night, guys.